Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are in the new episode of the career and corporate series that we have started on our channel, and we have Ashwini Prasad here today who's been placed at Citibank and has been working there for the last few months. So he is here to share his interview experience and the resources that he used to prepare for the interview and how he got in, what experiences he had and how his corporate life has been going on. So let's go and talk to him and understand all this, and let's get started with that. Hi Ashwini, firstly welcome to my channel and congratulations on your placement. And yeah, so would you like to introduce yourself to us first?
Okay. Hello, Jishnu. I'm very happy that I got this chance after a long time to interview uh, myself and give my suggestions about my placement to the juniors. And I'm really happy. Thank you for this opportunity. So, hello, everyone. I am Ashwani Prasad. I am a VIT alumni. I studied computer science and engineering, and I recently graduated in August 2023.
Mhm.
So those 4 years were amazing. I really miss my college, and I learned a lot from my college, made new friends. But I recently transitioned to my corporate life, and I got placement in Citi Group. I'm working at Citi Corp Services Private Limited India in Pune, and I'm working as an application developer, uh, currently working on Java,
Okay.
and we are working on full stack development projects. So as of now, I have been assigned to the backend team, and I'll be also working for the front end team, perhaps after 6 months. So
Okay.
this is how it has been going. My life is going well, learning new things, and not just in career, but also in other aspects of life. So it's going great. I'm happy to share my insights about the placements that happened, for me just a year ago in 2022, and my experiences. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. You can now tell us about the hiring process of City, like how many rounds were there and what they comprised of.
So as far as the placement related to City is concerned in 2022, so City Group, I think it came to our college VIT most probably after a gap of 3 years
Okay.
or 2 years. Before that, I think it did not come. So for 2022, it came in October. So
Okay.
the mail was received on 14th of October. The mail was circulated to the students who were sitting for placements, who were yet to be placed. The mail was sent, and we had to fill the form by 15th or 16th of October. And the eligibility criteria was that all the branches of BTech were eligible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there were no restrictions that it has to be from CSE or electronics or
Hmm.
nothing. It's mechanical people and electrical people, even chemical engineers and civil engineers were allowed. So all
Hmm.
BTechs was the eligibility criteria.
Hmm.
The CGPA, the cutoff CGPA was 6.0. So all the students having 6.0 were eligible.
Hmm.
And what else? Yeah, so all the students who applied were shortlisted, and they were, you know, intimidated about their first round on 18th of October.
Hmm.
Okay, so that is where the first round began. So there were 3 rounds as far as the placement process is concerned.
Hmm.
So first of all, the first step was to fill the form. So SHL was the website where we had to fill the details, where we put our name and then our CGPA, then our education,
Mm-hmm.
10th, 12th marks and everything, current CGPA from up till sixth semester. Okay, because CGPA only till sixth semester is considered, I think,
Okay.
for placement.
Hmm.
That was to be entered, and then the location has to be chosen. So for VIT students, there was an option to choose between Pune or Chennai. So I chose Pune. Okay. So after that form filling was done, the selected students were given the assessment link. So the assessment was again conducted on SHL, and in the online assessment round, there were 3 questions. There were coding questions completely, And as far as the difficulty level is concerned, one was easy, and the remaining two were moderate level questions. So, as far as the topics related to the coding questions are concerned, they were mostly searching algorithm space questions, sorting questions, and questions. The easy questions was based on array. Okay, so it was solvable. I think with enough practice, one could have solved those questions. I personally uh, solved all the three questions, but in my case, not all the test cases passed. I think the selection criteria was based on maximum test cases passing in lesser amount of time. So those candidates who were able to achieve that were selected for the interview round. So in my case, I tried to solve all the three questions with maximum test cases passing. So that was it. And as far as the online assessment is concerned, I would say that if you have enough practice with the basic questions related to array, some famous algorithms, sorting algorithms, and questions related to trees and hashing. Hashing is very important concept in Java. If you are able to do that, then you will be well enough for the online assessment. And one more thing I would like to highlight is that the online assessment was only possible, was only allowing three languages. In my case, it was Java, C++, and Python. So if someone is, proficient with other programming languages apart from these three, then they might have faced some difficulty as far as I remember. But I feel that mostly people know Java and C++, so they might have coded in that. I was proficient with Java, so I did my coding in Java. So that was the first round, and after the online assessment was conducted, I think the online assessment, the duration of the online assessment was approximately 2.5 hours. Okay, and after the online assessment, the results were declared the next day. And all those people were able to clear the first online assessment. They were moved to the technical rounds. So the technical round was conducted on 19th of October. And in the technical round, the technical managers or the project managers or maybe some senior technical employee from Citi were called to take the interviews. So since I applied for Pune, uh, one of the senior technical person from Citi, he employed me, and he was also from Pune branch. Okay, so he asked me several questions. So the second round was dominated by the technical questions, but it also had some managerial questions. Okay, it was not completely technical. So it was a mix of technical and managerial, but mostly technical. So in that, he asked me several questions. So the first question was obviously the basic one, to introduce myself. So I introduced myself, that the first event that happens in almost every interview. So the first technical question that he asked me was related to programming, obviously, and it was data structures and algorithm related questions. So um, the coding has to be done on some text editor. He did not ask me to code on a specific IDE, but just on a text editor. I think there is a specific term to that, which nowadays people use is like what, white paper, like you write on the paper and then you explain them the pseudocode, something like that. Where you don't get the help of the IDE for correcting your code or something. You have to completely write each and every character of the code, right? So he was testing me in that way, like how do I write the code from scratch in Notepad. So the first question he asked me to solve was that he gave me a set of integers, and he asked me to solve it using, he asked me to find the maximum sum possible. Okay, so that question is related to the Kittay's algorithm. If the viewers know that, then they might know. So I had to write the logic of Kittay's algorithm, and I had to explain the code line by line to him. Okay. So how does the algorithm work? And if we change the integers, has it to be sorted before applying the Kittay's algorithms? Do the integers have to be sorted in a particular order, ascending or descending, something like
Hmm.
that. And then he asked me to change some integers, delete some integers,
Hmm.
and then he tweaked those questions, and then he asked me to make changes in the code.
Right.
So that's what I did. So that was the first technical question, which was Kiran's algorithm. So Kiran's algorithm is very easy if you know it already,
Hmm.
but if you don't know, then it might pose a problem,
Hmm.
right? Then the next question was tested in a similar way. I had to write the code on Notepad.
Hmm.
So it was related to bit manipulation.
Hmm.
Okay, so it was a question where he was checking me whether I know about XOR. Okay, it's a logic
Right.
which is used to do some bit manipulation.
Correct. Hmm.
I don't exactly remember the question, but it was related to bit manipulation and XOR. So he asked me like, how can I apply it in Java? So there are specific libraries in Java which can be used to implement this question and shorten the code.
Hmm.
So he was testing me that. And apart from this, these were the only two coding questions that he asked. And
Hmm.
after that, he already had my resume in front of his system. So
Hmm.
he asked, what are my major skills? So since my major programming skill was in Java, so he asked me some conceptual questions related to Java. Like he asked me the difference between overriding and overloading. That's very famous questions that interviewers ask these days,
Right.
right? And he also asked me to which class system.out.println belongs to, right? A basic question which
Hmm.
I think only people who know Java completely would understand. I had to think a while for that question to answer, but I gave the right answer.
Hmm.
And then after that, he asked me like what all achievements that I did in my 4 years, 3 years of college,
Hmm.
basically.
Hmm.
So I had actually won the JP Morgan Code for Good hackathon in 2022.
Okay.
So he asked me like what all technologies did I use, how did I build the website. So
Hmm.
it was based on one stack. So uh, he asked me like what are the other challenges that you faced apart from the implementation and all, and how
Right.
were we able to create that project uniquely so that we won the hackathon.
Hmm.
So it was related to my achievements. And then apart from that, so this was the second part of the technical interview where he asked me about my resume. Now coming to the third part, he also asked me some managerial questions, wherein he told me that how would you manage a team if you know were the leader of a team, and how would you be a good team player, right? So he asked me questions related to that, and he also asked me, suppose if uh, you have been given the workload of multiple people, would you be able to do that?
Hmm.
And if somebody leaves from your team and you have been given the extra work, how will you be able to manage it?
Hmm.
If somebody is not cooperating in your team and is an individual player rather than a team player, how
Right.
will you make that person
Hmm.
involved in the team and work accordingly? And how will you help people if they are not participating in some extracurricular activities happening at the company? So workplace managerial questions
Hmm.
he asked me. And the interview was conducted for about 45 minutes. It was a long interview. And after that, the second round was completed. So after about 2 or 3 hours, the results for the third round, like all those people who were eligible for the third round, was declared.
Hmm.
So not 2 hours, I would say 1.5 hours approximately. The list came as to who are eligible for the next round. So every round was eliminatory.
Okay.
So uh, people who couldn't clear the second round, they could not go to the third round.
Hmm.
So it was like that. But fortunately, I passed through the second round. So coming to the third round was completely managerial.
Hmm.
Uh, their senior manager from Citi, he must be a vice president, I feel so. He came and he took my interview, and the interview was of 30 minutes.
Hmm.
So there he asked basic questions. First, again, starting with my introduction. I gave my introduction, and then after that, he went through my resume, and then he asked me the questions related to my achievements, what are skills that I know. So again, he asked me about my hackathon achievement, the the JPMC Code for Good Hackathon achievements, and how did we as a team, won that hackathon? What special was there in our project? So that I explained him. And apart from that, he asked me a basic question related to DSA, like what is bubble sort? So I told him that it's a sorting algorithm, and uh, he also asked me like how does it function. So I had to explain that without coding. Okay, so some questions might be asked wherein you don't have to always provide the code, but you just have to tell them the logic.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so because they don't have enough time to see your code, see you coding all the time, right? So you have to prepare something like that so that you can also tell someone how is that implemented, that algorithm is implemented. So I explained about that to him in words, and then coming to that, he asked me again basic managerial questions as to how, as a team leader, you can manage people, and how you can, evolve as a leader. Like what leadership principles that you can implement so that you can better manage a team. So that he asked, and he asked me about my strengths. He asked me about my weaknesses, and I like expressed all those things that I knew about myself to him in the form of weaknesses and strengths. Right. And as far as my weakness, he also asked me like how you can overcome that weakness when you join the company. For example, sometimes I am direct. Like sometimes I feel that I have to be direct with people, but sometimes people can take it rudely. So he told me like how can you manage such people who take your attitude negatively. So he asked me basic managerial questions, something like that. And then asked me like what are my other interests, like hobbies and all, so that I explained. And it was a simple interview. Like compared to round two, round three was easier, I would say.
Okay.
So after this, the results were to be declared, like who got selected in Citi the next day. So after round three, there was no interview. I am not sure about the Chennai branch, because I feel that even after round three, that is the managerial round, there was one HR round conducted.
Okay.
I suspect there was an HR round, but I'm not sure about that. But for Pune people, only round one, round two, and round three was there.
Okay.
So after this was completed, then the results were declared on 20th of October in the morning, approximately 7 a.m. And there is where I was. I mean, my name was there on the list, and my whole family and I were very happy that I finally got selected. And
Right.
that's it. My once the results were declared, my placement burden was
Done.
yeah, done. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was like that. Yeah.
Okay.
But it was great. It was a very thrilling experience. I started my placement, the placement season started from July 11th, and July, August, September, October. These 4 months were very thrilling. It was a roller coaster ride. So many ups and downs, and so many traumas coming in as well from the external world,
Right.
inside me. So
Right.
a lot of fear was also involved. A lot of anxiety was there. A lot of stress was there. So it was all a part of the process. But at the end, I was strong and I was patient. So
Right.
it's really important to be like that. Yeah.
Okay, that's really great, and congratulations
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So, do you have any suggestions or anything that you want to say that you learned from your experience or that you're doing? So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So first of all, I would like to explain about what my experience at Citi was so far. Like I have been working for Citi for approximately, it has been almost 1.5 months now. I joined on July 17th,
Okay.
and has been more than 1.5 months. So from my experience in corporate, I would say that it's very much different from college. It's not like college. I recently visited my college for convocation, and I saw that my fellow juniors were very happy. They were very chilled out, and they were not bound by so many rules and regulations and timelines. As a person gets when he goes or she goes to the corporate world. Like there are timelines to be followed, there are rules to be followed, there are strict company policies. And joining a financial company like Citi, this company is very strict about rules and regulations. I'm not sure about the product-based companies like Microsoft and Google. Maybe they might be open, slightly open, but still, I would say that corporate space is not so open like college. Okay, so I would encourage all my juniors to enjoy your college life and at the same time make a lot of friends, build connections, and make memories. And at the same time, prepare for replacements, study well. Everything is important. Balance is the key, but don't miss out on anything that is therein has to be done in college life because frankly speaking, I was one of the students from the batch which did not see much of college life because of Corona. Like 2 years were completely taken by Corona, so I might have just experienced 1.5 years in total in college, and they were not enough according to me. So, uh, anyways, you would be moving to corporate space after college, so enjoy your college as much as possible. And in corporate, you would also find that yes, you would be get paid depending on your company and the culture. You will get paid well. You will make new connections. You will meet new people. But again, there will be a lot of things to learn as well. The technologies that you might have learned in college, they might not be enough for you to survive in the corporate world. For example, I'm currently working on Spring Boot framework, which is a Java framework that hasn't been taught to us in college. Okay, so completely shift has been observed by me. A complete shift has been observed by me that whatever I learned in college was so less, and whatever I have to implement in company is so much more, and it is so much advanced. It's not something very traditional that we follow here.
Yeah.
We follow most of the styles which are very fast paced, these days, and one has to keep on learning in order to thrive in that environment. So keep on learning and be ready to learn, be ready to experience new things while in college and also in corporate world. And
Right.
things will become difficult and it will become hard, but you have to try, you have to survive, and at the end, it will all get better. So that's all I would say.
Okay. Okay, that's great. And regarding the placements,
Yeah, the placement tips.
yeah. Okay, I'll just
Okay.
ask that to you, then you can start.
Yeah, you can ask.
So, and do you have any suggestions regarding placements in particular that, or anything that you learned from your placement journey?
Yeah, I learned a lot of things from my placement journey. So what I would say is that as far as the VITNs are concerned,
Right.
right? So understanding the three kinds of offers is really important, like regular offer, uh, dream offers, and super dream offers. And in that too, you have different hierarchy. Like some super dream offers could be full time.
Right.
Some super dream offers could be both full time and internship. Some super dream offers could be just internship. Same applies for dream as well. Dream could be full time or full time plus internship or simply internship. So you must understand that if I have some offer, will I be able to obtain a better offer or not? Because as per the college policy, uh, if you get placed and if a better company comes after that and you feel that I could have got selected in,
Right.
so there is no point of regretting after you get selected.
Correct.
So if you want to make the best out of the placement season, you have to understand like what you really want. Like you need to set some standards. I would encourage all the students to set some standards, like what kind of company I want to be in. Like if it is a super dream company, then where do I want to get placed? For
Correct.
me, it was strictly that I want to get placed in a multinational company. I don't want to work for startups. Like even though they are paying more, but I don't want to work for startups. So I basically did not apply much for startups, like except for few, I did not apply much. But I have seen many of my batchmates, many of my friends, they used to apply in each and every company
Hmm.
which used to come.
Hmm.
Okay. So, but being selective has its own disadvantages. Like
Hmm.
it might, deprive you of some opportunities,
Hmm.
but you need to take some risk. Risk taking is equally important during the placement season,
Hmm.
because if you risk yourself, then are opening doors to the best opportunity
Hmm.
that you can get, right? So that's what I would say. So you need to understand, like, what company do you want to work for? Is the work culture important for you, or is it just the pay which
Hmm.
you are looking forward
Hmm.
to? Is it just the money that you're looking forward to? Then what is the role of that job? Like I personally wanted to enter into software development or analyst related fields. I'm currently working as a software development, so that's what I wanted. But
Hmm.
the thing is that there were jobs related to testing. There were jobs related to cybersecurity. There were jobs related to data science. People who are interested in those fields would definitely apply, but you also have to understand that if you're not interested, if you don't have a particular skill set, or you are not completely new to that field, then applying to that is not so useful, in my opinion,
Hmm.
because anyways the interviewer is going to ask questions related to that field in the interview, and if you are not aware of those technologies, so you will definitely not pass through that interview. Like there is a high chance that the interviewer won't take you in, right?
Hmm.
So you have to understand what job role you want to apply, what company you want to apply, what type of company, what location you want to apply. Some people want to, live near their home or their hometown, so they apply to companies which are near their home, like their home location, right? But for me, it was open. Like it could be like a different. Like some of my friends say that they wanted to work in the south, but they have been transferred to the North India.
Hmm.
So, but ultimately, people adjust. Location is not a big deal, but if it is a preference, then you can keep it that.
Hmm.
So location, job profile, and type of the company, that's also important.
Hmm.
Like I feel that one has to be slightly selective, but not so selective during the placement season. So that's the first step that I would get. And you should be aware that if I get a dream placement, for example, and it is full time plus internship, then I think as per the rules, the student can only avail full time super dream offers,
Correct.
right? So you also need to understand the frequency of each type of company coming in, because generally speaking, I think full-time software like super dream companies, full-time super dream companies are lesser in amount as compared to uh, full-time plus intern super dream companies and internship only super dream
Hmm.
companies. Okay, so that's the thing. You need to understand that those rules, placement rules. I think those rules are given on the website. Must be shared by your placement coordinator. So please understand those rules so that you don't get stuck. Okay, just because of placement that I have to get placed as soon as possible, because of hurry, you just get placed in a company, and then after that you regret, oh, that maybe I could have got a better offer. The college is not allowing me to sit for that company.
Hmm.
That should not happen.
Hmm.
So that's one thing. Then apart from that, I would say that DSA, the second tip would be that DSA is very important. The DSA, that is data structures and algorithms and programming, is very important.
Hmm.
And um, I was not so proficient with programming until recently in third year. I think after my sixth semester, I started looking at some courses. Previously, I did some courses on C++ and basic coding related to arrays and all, but I did not dive deep into data structures and algorithms. Only after my sixth semester, I started looking forward to that. So, if you have less time, you need to follow some courses which are completely, focused on giving you the quality content
Hmm.
rather than the quantity, because it's important for you to qualitatively prepare for the placement. uh, some people might be following a huge list of DSA problems. They might have already been solving that,
Right.
consisting of 3,000 questions and all. There are so
Hmm.
many SD sheets being circulated during the placement season. But at the end, if you start solving them, then and if you're not aware of coding, and if you have not done coding for the long time, then you might face a lot of issues with that. So it's best if you are a new starter and if you have recently begun coding and you are preparing for the placement season, you can follow some good videos on YouTube. They are present. You can start with a basic sheet which has lesser kind of questions and the simpler questions. So I particularly followed Anuj Bhaiya DSA course. That is present on YouTube. It consists of 100 videos. Now, 100 videos each of, I think, 20 to 25 minutes. So this can be completed within a month or two if you completely dedicate yourself.
Okay.
And his videos are relevant because he explains it in both Java and C++, the problems and all. And I feel that his way of explaining the questions and solving the question is really good because he explains everything from scratch. So for all those starters and beginners in programming and who want to excel better, they can start. I would recommend that you can go through his videos. There are multiple other videos present on YouTube as well. There are many courses from Coding Ninjas, Coding Blocks that people take. I personally took one Coding Ninjas course, but that was not so helpful for me as compared to these YouTube videos. So I basically followed this. And as far as the SD sheets are concerned, which I talked about, that they are really circulated, people will be talking about SD sheets. Yes, I solved these many questions during the placement season. People, like many students, start feeling that peer pressure, like, oh, I have only solved these many questions. He has solved so many questions, so he might be knowing more. But the reality is that even with like whatever preparation you have, if you're able to solve, like what matters during the online assessment is, are you able to solve that question uh, in the best way possible? That is, you're passing maximum test cases in the least amount of time. That's what matters. Correct. It doesn't matter like how many questions you have solved. Obviously, definitely, like solving many questions will give you a lot of experience, but it's not like something you can do a rote learning of, right? You need to understand the concepts of the questions. So understanding the concepts is more important, and doing a variety of questions is important. Like you can, basically, I would say that in DSA there are 5 to 6 basic subjects like arrays, then linked lists, then sorting, searching, trees, and maps. That is hashing, and then you have a graph. So 6 to 7 topics. Even if you know do 10 questions, 10 important questions, 10 to 15 important questions from each of these 7 topics, you are done with the basic preparation at least. Like I would say that, and you have to keep on revising those questions, right? So it's important to revise those questions as well. So for the SD sheet, I followed the Geeks for Geeks SD sheet, which consisted of approximately 180 to 200 questions, and I did not solve all of them, but I solved the important ones, the famous one. For example, Kiran's algorithm, I had solved that question, and that came in the interview. So all the important and famous questions, they are likely to be asked in the interview. So it's must to prepare for them. Right. That's very important. And you can also practice on lead code. Many people do that, but one advantage which I've found on Geeks for Geeks is that in the website, the UI is based like that, wherein you can see your coding time, like in how many minutes are you able to submit the question, submit the solution to the question, and what is the average time taken. So all these features are there in Geeks for Geeks coding platform, which is not there on LeetCode. So I prefer Geeks for Geeks, and in Geeks for Geeks you also get a lot of opportunities to look at different types of methodology to a particular question. Right. Okay, like there are different ways a question can be solved, but in LeetCode, I think if it is, I'm not sure, but in order to access the solution, I think you might have to consider a premium account. Is it true? Right. Yes. Yeah, right. I think there is a premium account for LeetCode, right? Yeah, I basically use the free account, and in order to access the solution, I have to go through the comments and all. So, Geeks for Geeks is a place where you can view the solution for free if you want to. But viewing the solution, I would not recommend. First, try it out on your own. Go through some comments, go through some hints, go through some video. If you are not able to solve a question, try to look at a video of that same question on YouTube. content creator or the person who is
Right.
teaching there would help you understand like how this problem can be approached. So
Correct.
that is the approach that you should follow. That is what I would recommend instead of directly going through the solution.
Right.
So that would help you to build that logic, and logic building is all that matters here.
Matters. Hmm.
So and you need to choose a language. Like you, for me, it was Java. And I feel that sometimes people use C++. Like my friends used to do C++. Some used to do Python as well. But I feel that Java is really important because not just for coding, but even if you move to the corporate world, maybe Java is something which will be used more often
Right.
than C++. And
Hmm.
Python is used, but I'm not sure about C++. So if you're comfortable with Java, you do that. If you're comfortable with C++, it's fine because I think C++ has pointers, and if everyone is able to understand that, it's great. But I personally found it really difficult to understand pointers.
Okay.
So I did not consider coding in C++.
Hmm.
So choose a language and be strict with that. Understand all the aspects of the language. If you're learning Java, you should know all the 4 pillars like polymorphism, inheritance, then you should know abstraction, and then you should know the interfaces and all, the error handling and exception handling, everything you should know. So that even while you are coding the TSA problems, you would have come across these concepts quite often, and you should be able to do that. So pick one language and be really good at it. Like that is very important. And the third tip that I would give is you can go through interview bit. There are so many interview questions already like completed by some experts, and they have posted that on the interview bit. So interview bit, I prepared all the basic computer science related subjects, contents, like I would say that operating systems, DBMS, computer engineering, then we had networking, then object-oriented Java. So all these topics were covered and prepared on DBMS as well on interview bit. So on interview bit, all the famous questions related to these subjects, the frequently asked questions, you can find the questions and the solutions there. And you will also get a chance to practice some of the MCQs there. So you can go through that as well. So interview bit helped me a lot with the interview preparation. And for the online assessment, I would say the YouTube videos and the Geeks for Geeks, SD sheets, and the solutions helped me with that. So these 2 to 3 websites I would recommend for all the students who are preparing for the placement and who are still in the placement season and are yet to be placed. And lastly, I would say in the fourth point is that you need to be peaceful with yourself. You need to believe yourself, because sometimes it happens that even if you are practicing, even if you are working hard, the results are not coming in our way, right? We are not able to see the results, and we get impatient and we get frustrated. It's completely normal. It's a part of the process. I would say that what is there for you will be there for you. I mean, you will get that. Like, if something is there and you have worked for it, you will definitely get that. So, don't worry about it. There will be there might be some pressure from your family as well. They will ask you like, how was the interview? How was the online assessment? They will because if you are at home, they might ask. I was at home, so they used to ask me. But if you are in college, then your friends and peers will ask. Please create a healthy environment. Let's not try to pull each other down. Everyone wants to get placed in a good company, and we want others to succeed as well, not just ourselves. So if you are in college and if you are preparing for the placement season, if you are attending all the tests and everything, please create a healthy environment as far as possible. It's never a good idea to pull others down by giving them false information. Okay, because it might happen that people might come across certain situations where they might feel inferior.
Correct.
Their friends might get placed in a really good company, and even though they have worked hard, they are not getting a placement. So I would say that placement is not just about your hard work and preparation, but it's also about how you keep yourself calm in the
Right.
process.
Right.
And it's also about luck to some extent. Okay, but you cannot control luck much. But I would say that you can definitely, put turn the luck to your favor by preparing well.
Right.
By preparing well, you can. So keep calm and be patient, and you will get it. You will finally get it. I'm saying this to all the students who are yet to be placed or are still looking for a better placement. Okay, and it's important to manage your stress and anxiety. There will be a lot of stress, anxiety, and a lot of external voices coming to your head, but you have to keep calm. So that is one thing. And I would say that you should also have a good understanding of your resume, because in the interview, they will definitely. I have attended approximately around 8 to 9 interviews before getting into Citi, and everyone was, concerned about my resume. Like all the
Right.
interviewers, they went through my resume and they asked multiple questions related to that. So you should have a thorough understanding of resume. Put only those skills and projects in your resume which you know. So you have to prepare a brief introduction or a brief description of all those projects and skills and achievements that you have had in your resume, which you can present to the interviewer, because you don't want to get stuck while they ask you some questions which you don't know of. For example,
Right.
if you don't know R and you have listed that in your skills, and if they ask you any question related to R programming, then it says that it's not honest, right? I mean, that should not happen. Okay, so put everything honestly on your resume and have a good understanding of it. Here, quality matters more than quantity. I would say that have a few skills, but be strong with those skills. That's more important. And as far as the communication skills are concerned, again, this can never be neglected. Uh, Practice good communication skills. Try to give some mock interviews with your friends and peers. And I would say that prepare a good introduction. Okay, introduction which can last for at least a minute. Okay, wherein you can cover everything. So prepare a good introduction and see how you can deal with the interviewers different kinds of questions. Like you need to practice those HR questions as well. You cannot neglect that, because ultimately, even after you have passed all the technical interviews, managerial round, and you get into the HR round, they still have the power to reject you in the last round. So it's important that you prepare for the HR questions as well. And you can find good quality of HR questions, HR related questions on interview bit. So
Okay.
I prepared some of the questions from the interview bit itself, and prepare those questions as well. And try to be a good communicator. Like practice some English speaking skills, because I feel that to some extent, based on my experience, I would say that even if you are technically less sound, but you speak well,
Right.
right? If you speak well, then that creates a very good impact on the interviewer. And if you're trying to solve that problem, if you're trying to approach that problem, even though you don't reach the solution, they will still consider that you are trying.
Yeah.
And you are able to think about it.
Right.
Okay,
Yes.
they
Yes.
want to know your thought process, and you have to be vocal about it. Like if
Right.
you're trying to implement something, if you're trying to implement a particular step in the algorithm, you need to speak that out. Okay, you need to show them how you are approaching that. So that would be my other important advice to all the students who are in their placement season. And at the end of the day, you have to trust yourself, trust your process, believe in yourself, because if you if you can't believe in yourself, then who else will? I mean, you have to trust yourself and believe in yourself that you will get through this phase and you will emerge victorious. You
Right.
will be okay at the end. So that's all from my side, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. Thank you so much for sharing your experience and for all your suggestions. And yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. I'm sure it's going to be helpful for many people.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Jishnu, for giving me such a wonderful opportunity after such a long time. But I think this interview was important, not just for me and you, but also for other students at VIT.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you.
Thank you all for watching. If you did find this video helpful, do like, share, and subscribe. And stay tuned to my channel.